I don't think that I was one of those who, as a child or a young person, ever had an aspiration to travel to the moon. But if I had been, well, this is probably the closest I'm going to get. This is the Museum of the Moon exhibition at our cathedral. And thousands of people have been visiting and catching something of the wonder of God's creation, that wonder which is reflected, for example, in the Psalms, which speak of the moon and the stars as God's handiwork, which speak of the heavens proclaiming the glory of God. There in the account in Genesis chapter 1 of the fourth day of creation, we have the great lights, the sun and the moon and the stars being created. The creation of God is a theme which many Christians are reflecting upon more and more. The creation which is so central to Christian thought and which teaches us not just about God's hand, as it were, in creation, but about our responsibility in and for creation, for the care and the nurture of creation, a responsibility which we share with God. And many things in our life in the church are leading us in this way at the moment. They're coming together in all sorts of ways. So, for example, it's great that we now have Dr. Ruth Valerio as canon theologian of our cathedral. Ruth has published this book, which is the Archbishop of Canterbury's Lent book for this year, and I commend it to you. We also have materials for Lent produced by the National Church, which this year focus around God's creation and our responsibility for it, our caring for it. In our diocese, these materials will be supplemented week by week through Lent with filmed items which focus on what's going on in some of our communities across our diocese in terms of creation care, in terms of exercising this God-given responsibility which we have. At General Synod, when it met a few weeks ago, there was a motion there which was encouraging us as a church to take these matters seriously and particularly to commit ourselves to a target in relation to the church and its institutions and entities becoming carbon neutral. The original motion posited a date of 2045. An amendment came from the floor of the Synod which was passed, and it brought that down to 2030. That is only 10 years away. That is a huge challenge when you consider our buildings, our parsonages, our way of life, our church activities. To aspire that we should be carbon neutral in relation to those things in 10 years' time is a massive challenge for us, but one which I hope we will rise to. And then we're going to follow up that General Synod debate with a debate at our own diocesan synod, where we will, among other things, be encouraged to sign up to the Eco-Church initiative, which runs nationally. So there's an awful lot of stuff around at the moment, which is encouraging us to take these matters seriously. But it also comes back to a question about me, about you. What are you doing? What am I doing? How are our lifestyles going to change to demonstrate that we accept God's calling to be those who, as disciples of Christ, care for God's creation? Every day I fall short, I make mistakes, I do things which I perhaps don't have to do, I consume things that I don't have to consume. So there's a repentance here as well as a determination to act in different ways. Let's use this period of Lent to reflect on these matters. Do make use of the materials. All the details are on the diocesan website. And do pray about your own response as an individual, within your community, your neighbourhood, your household, within your church, as to how we care more faithfully, more fully for God's creation.